How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today, we're going to talk about decluttering your stuff and how it can actually make you rich. Here's a simple chart that says basically the more stuff you have, the more it costs to own them. It's not just how much it costs you to buy them. See, the more stuff that you hold on to, the more stuff that's just sitting around depreciating. Therefore, it's costing you more money the more stuff you hold on to. So now we're going to add a few more things to it. It's not just the depreciation cost of all the stuff, but it's also the mental capacity, because whenever you run through the stuff, if you're going through the stuff, if you have stuff laying around, it costs you mental capacity to count them even. It takes you time to look at it every single time. Let's say you have something that you're not really using, and every once in a while, you have something like this. You're gonna run across it and then go, oh yeah, I remember that thing, I have it. So you take a look at it. You don't really use it because you have something else that's better. Maybe you have the newest phone or something, but then you have an older phone. It's just sitting around. It costs you mental capacity in order to look at this thing, but nothing really happens to it because you look at it, it costs you a few minutes time, you put it away. Maybe a couple years later, you take it back out and you look at it. So therefore, holding on to this stuff's actually costing you time and mental capacity, because you actually have to think about it whenever you come across the item. Now, another cost of having too much stuff is the space required to store it all. Now, a lot of people would have so much stuff that they need to actually rent out a storage area. Luckily, I don't need to rent out a storage area. I can just leave all my stuff here. But imagine how much space you could have extra if you don't have as much stuff. Space actually costs real money, because that square footage you're actually paying in rent or mortgage or whatever. Imagine if you only need half the space that you're using because you don't have all this clutter. Therefore, you can rent a smaller place or buy a smaller place, and in the end, this would cost you less money. Now, holding the space to contain this stuff might actually cost more than the stuff itself. So imagine you have a place that's 1,000 square foot. It costs you, let's say, $1,000 in rent. So it costs you $1 for that square foot, and you have something huge that costs $5 for that thing, and it's just taking up space in this 1 square foot area. Then it's actually costing you $12 a year to hold on to this thing. Now, we can't just go rent a place with 1 less square foot, but you can imagine that if you have a whole bunch of stuff, you reduce your stuff consistently, you can reduce a lot of square footage that you actually need. So I'm only gonna go through one example to kind of spark an idea to let you know how much stuff we actually have. For me, I have a lot of mice. Whenever I finish using a mouse, I kind of toss it in a bin. Yes, I could sell it, and I have been selling a bunch of my used mice online. You use Craigslist, eBay, Amazon, or whatever, but I still have some left, which I really do want to get rid of. I have this ergonomic mouse thing I got a long time ago. I have this tiny little mini mouse I got a long time ago, I still have. I have this wireless mouse that used to be my main mouse, but now I switched to a wired because a wireless mouse got too annoying for me to charge every single time, because it ended up every couple of weeks I gotta put it back on the cradle. So now I'd rather have a wired mouse where I never have to worry about charging ever. And then I got one of these laptop mice, but this is just an example. This is only 4 mice. I actually have maybe like 4 or 5 more laying around all over the place. A good way to declutter is to bring all of the common stuff together, like mice, okay? So just put them all together. Then you'll see how ridiculous it is. Look at how ridiculous this is. I have a whole bunch of mice that I don't use, and I don't really need to use it anymore because I have a mouse, that's attached to a computer that I use already.